Welcome to the Inside Java Music Show, where we cover recent developments in the OpenJDK community, backed by sick rock music. I'm Nikolai Parlok, Java developer advocate at Oracle, and today I'm going to show you 11 Java tricks for records and patterns, generics and lambdas, JPackage and JShell and more, all handpicked from dev.java. Ready? Then let's dive right in. You know how to use records to model data carriers and how to verify incoming data during construction. But did you know that you don't have to list the parameters of all record constructors? A record's canonical constructor has one argument per component, but in its compact form, you don't have to list them. You can't assign fields, that happens in compiler-generated code after yours, but you can reassign the parameters, which leads to the same result. You know that every object can be serialized with black magic, but did you know that no such deviance is needed for records? The guaranteed presence of constructor parameters and accessors makes serialization work with the object model and makes it easy for you to create reliable serializable records, immune to black magic like write object, read object and the like. You know JPackage, but wait, do you know JPackage? It's a command line tool that takes a whole Java app as input and produces a fully self-contained application image, meaning it includes your code, dependencies and a Java runtime. It creates the runtime for your app with jlink, which you can fully configure through JPackage, or you can pass it the path to a runtime image that you already created. Further configuration options include application metadata like icons and licenses, installation options and launchers, as well as JVM and program options. JPackage outputs in platform-specific formats like dep and RPM for Linux, or exe and MSI for Windows. Now that you know JPackage, did you know that it can do all of that for modular as well as non-modular applications? Like, it doesn't even give a shit. Speaking of jlink, did you know that you can use it to create runtime images across operating systems? Say your build server runs Linux and you need a Windows runtime image. Then you just need to download and unpack Windows JDK of the same version as the Linux one that runs jlink and add the Windows JMods folder to the Linux jlink executables module path. You know how to use the break statement to get out of a loop, but did you know that you can give it a label to break out of an appropriately labeled outer loop as well? Likewise with continue, which skips the rest of the current iteration of the innermost loop. If you pass the label, it will skip the iteration of the labeled loop instead. But as always, just because you can, doesn't mean you should. If you're wondering why this episode is so weird, my camera is on the road, but that doesn't mean we can't have a rock and roll slideshow, right? Now on with it! You know pattern matching, but did you know that you can use the variable it introduces in the same Boolean expression? If you check whether the instance object is of type string with object instance of string s, you can start using s straight away. For example, to check whether it's non-empty with and not s is empty. This works in if statements in Java 16 and in switch as a preview in Java 17. You know generics and that a list of integer doesn't extend a list of number, but did you know that if you add wildcards you can create a type hierarchy? A list of question mark extends integer actually does extend a list of question mark extends number, and the other way around, a list of question mark super number extends a list of question mark super integer. You know how to write lambdas to create predicates, but did you know that the interface offers a lot of methods to create and combine them? Call the instance methods and, or negate for Boolean formulas. No predicates yet? No problem. The static factory method not is great to invert a method reference, and if you pass some object to is equal, get a predicate that checks instances for equality with it. If you think that was cool, hold your breath for comparators. You know how to implement them, but did you know there are even more factory and combination methods? To compare longs, doubles, floats and the like, use a method reference to their static compare method. If you want to compare objects by one of the attributes, pass a function extracting it to the static method comparator.comparing. To first sort by one and then another attribute, create both comparators, then chain them with the instance method then comparing. Need a comparator instance that uses a comparables comparator method? The static factory method natural order is there for you. If that's the wrong way around, just score reversed on it. And what to do about pesky null? Worry not, just pass a comparator to nulls first or nulls last to get a comparator that does what you need. You know that you can use the Java command to launch a single source file without having to manually compile it first, but did you know that you can use this capability to write full-on scripts in Java in just 3 simple steps? First, add a shebang line to the source file that points at your Java executable, followed by --source and the Java version the code was written for. Second, rename the file so it doesn't end with .java. This is a great opportunity to give it a good command line name. Third, make it executable with change mode +x. There you go, scripts in Java. You know how to launch JShell for some quick experiments, but did you know that you don't have to import everything manually? Just launch with the option Java SE, and all Java SE packages are imported, so you can get right to it. And that's it for today on the Inside Java Music Show. I hope you liked it, do all the YouTube things, and I'll see you again in 2 weeks. So long!